This changes how you think. Neuroscientists discovered why your brain processes physical books differently than screens, and the implications are profound. Let me tell you about an experiment that changed everything we thought we knew about reading. Researchers at the University of Stavanger gave two groups identical stories. One group read from paper, the other from screens. The results? Paper readers scored dramatically higher on plot reconstruction, emotional recall, and chronological sequencing. But here's where it gets fascinating. When scientists scanned their brains, they discovered something unexpected. Physical book readers showed activation in regions associated with spatial memory, the same areas that help you navigate physical spaces. Your brain literally treats a book like a landscape you're traveling through. But that's not even the strangest part. The screen readers showed something different entirely. Their brains processed the text more like scattered data points than a coherent journey. And this leads to a question nobody can fully answer yet. What happens to a generation that grows up reading exclusively on screens? To understand why this matters, we need to explore what neuroscientists call bi-directional processing. When you read a physical book, your brain creates a mental map of the text. You remember that crucial passage was somewhere in the upper left, about 3/4 through. This spatial anchoring is ancient. It's how our ancestors remembered where they found food, water, and shelter. And this is where it gets powerful. Your brain hijacks this survival mechanism for reading comprehension. But screens destroy this process. Text reflows. Pages don't exist. There's no physical geography to anchor your memories to. Think about that for a second. Every time you scroll, you're essentially wiping your brain's spatial reference points clean. Marianne Wolf, one of the world's leading reading researchers, calls this the loss of deep reading. And the consequences extend far beyond just forgetting plot points. We're talking about fundamental changes to how your brain processes complex information, makes connections, and builds knowledge over time. If this is blowing your mind, drop a like, because we're just getting started. But here's the thing nobody talks about. Reading isn't just about information transfer. It's about brain transformation. In 2011, researchers at Emory University conducted a groundbreaking study. They had participants read a novel over 9 days while scanning their brains before, during, and after. What the author reveals next is brilliant. The reading didn't just activate language centers. It physically rewired the brain's connectivity patterns, particularly in the left temporal cortex, responsible for language receptivity, and the central sulcus, the brain's primary sensory motor region. This means that when you read about a character running, your brain simulates running. When a character feels heartbreak, your brain experiences a shadow of that emotion. Fiction literally builds your empathy circuits. But here's where it gets truly disturbing. This neural simulation only happens with deep, immersive reading. The fragmented attention patterns created by screen reading, they short-circuit this entire process. You're getting the words without the transformation. Let me put this in perspective. The average American now spends over 7 hours daily looking at screens. Meanwhile, sustained book reading has dropped to just 19 minutes per day. But the most important lesson is this: your brain is a use it or lose it organ. The neural pathways for deep reading require regular exercise. Without it, they atrophy. Cognitive scientist Patricia Greenfield documented what she calls the trade-off hypothesis. As we develop skills for screen-based information processing, quick scanning, multitasking, visual analysis, we're simultaneously losing our capacity for deep reading, critical analysis, and reflective thought. And this isn't speculation. Brain scans of heavy screen users show measurably reduced activity in areas associated with abstract thinking and contemplation. We're literally optimizing our brains for distraction. What nobody expected was that this affects even our ability to read physical books. People who've spent years primarily reading on screens report that they now struggle to focus on physical books for extended periods. The brain adapts to what it practices most. But everything I just told you, that's just the setup. Because here's where the science gets truly remarkable. The wisdom deepens when we consider neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself throughout your entire life. Researchers have discovered that you can actually rebuild your deep reading circuits. It takes roughly 21 days of consistent practice to begin forming new neural pathways. And the transformation is measurable. A study published in Brain Connectivity found that just 2 weeks of dedicated reading practice increased white matter integrity in the corpus callosum, the bridge connecting your brain's hemispheres. Your brain literally becomes more connected, more integrated, more capable of complex thought. If you want to see how this actually works in practice, make sure you're subscribed, because we're about to reveal the specific mechanisms that make this transformation possible. The question isn't whether reading changes your brain. It does. The question is whether you're changing it intentionally, or letting screens reshape it by default. And that distinction will define cognitive capability for generations. Now let's examine exactly what happens in your brain during deep reading, and this is how you apply it to transform your cognitive abilities. When you settle into a physical book, your prefrontal cortex, the CEO of your brain, enters a unique state. Heart rate slows. Breathing deepens. The default mode network activates. This is the same network involved in creativity, self-reflection, and making meaning from experiences. But screens trigger the opposite response. The backlight, the potential for notifications, the hyperlinks, they keep your brain in a state of alert vigilance. Your amygdala stays partially activated, ready to respond to stimuli. You're reading in survival mode, not contemplation mode. Plot twist. This explains why you can read for hours on your phone, yet feel exhausted, while an hour of the physical book leaves you feeling restored. It's not about willpower. It's neurobiology. What would you do if you discovered that the way you've been consuming information has been undermining your brain's potential this entire time? But wait, there's one more key idea that ties everything together. And this is the revelation that